Would you like to help people around you to grow? It's not that hard. It's not about what you need to do. It's more often about what you don't need to do. So what's growing? Well, growing is when we change our course, when we learn something new about ourselves, how we operate, how we function, or about how we make decisions, and we readjust and we move forward with new information. So sometimes what can happen is when we are trying to convince somebody of something, when that person does change their mind and even come around to thinking the same way you do, if we rub it in their face, then that's not going to help. That will just get them to the point where they want to stay where they are, which will actually stop them from growing. So how to help them to grow is just don't make a big deal of it. Don't use the words like, I told you so. Well, we should probably never use that ever. I've never found that to be helpful when people tell it to me, and I've never got a good response when I've said it to other people. So I don't recommend that particular pathway. But I think the Japanese have it perfect here. In this particular area, I think they've got it nailed. It's called saving face. So when someone changes their mind, you let them save face. You don't have to go out of the way to convince them they've made the right decision. Just let them save face. So great, let's move forward now. And don't mention about what happened in the past or make a big deal out of it or bring things up. Just now you're moving forward in this particular direction. No big deal. So that's just something there to help you to work better with the people around you and the people you care about, to give them the space to make the decisions for themselves. And sometimes it's not easy. We like to get in there sometimes and make it easier. But I'll tell you a little story. It's about a butterfly and a cocoon and a chrysalis. So the butterfly's in there and he's struggling to get out. And as he's struggling to get out, he's pumping with his wings and he's getting out there. We see the struggle going on. So we go and we snip a hole of the fibers of the cocoon so he can get out more freely. Now, when we do that, you know what happens? The butterfly dies within a day. We let the butterfly struggle and get out in its own way. The butterfly lives how long it's supposed to live for, which is a hell of a lot longer than 1 day. Why is that? Because as the struggle, they're pumping blood into their wings so they can get out and they can operate like a proper butterfly. There's nothing wrong with the struggle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. But a lot of us make out like the struggle itself is the problem. It actually isn't. What the problem is what we make it mean. Struggling is just part of the process. That's how I see it. Part of the process and struggling, they're interchangeable for me. I don't often use the word struggle though because it has connotations in my subconscious from my religious background about what that is, to do with suffering and everything else. Well, I've let all that go. I don't want to get involved in that. So I think of it more as the process. So, and we can do that for the people around us by allowing them that space too. It doesn't mean to say we don't still keep helping and we still keep working with them and suggesting things and helping open up their mind to different aspects. But we do it from a relaxed, gentle perspective. Because the more you push, then generally what happens is the more people will push back. It's like when you've got two hands like this, one's pushing really hard, it's going to go over. Now, if one doesn't resist at all, it just moves straight over, boom. There's no resistance. And if we're gentle, there's no resistance from the other side. If we're pushing, there'll be resistance. It'll also trigger their defensiveness. So if you find that people around you are quite defensive, then you're probably stimulating that. So have a look at the video I just made about defensiveness, and you'll start to see the correlation between the two. So I hope that's helped for you in supporting the people around you to grow and to change and to help them save face.